Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, I am super tired this morning, so sorry about that. It was another early morning wake up, not on purpose, and anyway, up way before I wanted to be up. So it's okay. Got our coffee. We're all good to go. Kelly Largent, great to see you here. 75 sounds awesome. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like today, but it is sunny, so that's gonna be rad. How is everybody doing today? If you guys are new here to the show, make sure you jump into the chat, say hello so I can say hello to you. It's great to see a bunch of you guys are already on. And the other thing is, if you are enjoying this, take a second to back out of the chat, hit the thumbs up, and come back in. Yeah, it's great to see everybody here. See everybody. I see a little number of people like counter. Yeah, it's another beautiful day in Western Colorado. Today's ride, Thursday night ride, is going to be really awesome because we're finally going to start. What up, Jimmy Neihart? Going to start venturing up into the woods where there are trees and currently snow. So we're going to be riding the Lower Spring Creek Trail today, which starts down in the desert. It's one of my favorite trails, actually. Starts down in the desert, and it just climbs up onto the Uncompahgre Plateau. So we're going to go as far as we can. I know that the Lower Spring Creek single track is all open, and I know that where it meets the ATV trail and goes up is open for quite a ways, and then it runs into snow and I'm guessing trees. So I'll be carrying the chainsaw on the 300 today, which should be awesome. I'm excited about that. Try riding with that. I've never ridden with a chainsaw. I rode with the mount this last weekend. It was cool. Chris Abbott, Brady Metter, Raymond Wynn, Chris Cooley, what is happening? Brady, I'm so happy that you have so much work that you are holding off, taking on more work for a little bit. That is awesome. Paul Anstey, what is happening? It snowed there last night. Good news. Nice. That's awesome. Glad the trails are opening next weekend. Sad that it snowed, but you are in the Great White North, so that's part of the deal. Jimmy Neihart, got your parts faster than stuff I ordered from a place an hour away. Yes, Jimmy Neihart, that makes me happy. By the way, guys, yeah, so if you're watching this, if you want to support this channel, there are numerous ways to do it financially. One is to go to our Amazon link and just shop on Amazon. Another way is to be a patron on Patreon. Another way is to do super chats here. You can give us money here. And then another way that I think makes somewhat the most sense, I don't know, but anyway, is that you can order parts directly from me and I can drop ship. Not everything. So it's not everything that I can drop ship, but a lot of things I can drop ship and I can get them to you pretty darn quickly, especially now that Tucker Rocky, if it's something that Tucker Rocky sells, and it's over $50, I can drop ship it overnight for free, which is crazy. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if Tucker Rocky's going to stay in business doing that, but as far as I know, I'm just going to keep rocking and rolling. There are hiccups. Brady had one that didn't show up in a day. It was supposed to show up in a day, but it still showed up in 2 days, which isn't bad. But anyway, so if you guys want to support us, that's great. Enough of that stuff. John Rebecca ordered a Wolfpack based on your reviews. Dude, John, you were going to be so stoked. The new one is awesome. Brady, I will stop writing long enough, maybe. We'll see. Few big trees down last year during rifle season on the ATV portion of Spring Creek. Yeah, Chris, there's going to be trees across the ATV section for sure. But we'll just have to, I don't know where they are and if we can get far enough up to them because of the snow. And anyway, there's my mom, Suzanne Spradling. I love you, Mama. Everybody say hi to my mom. She's the best. Eric B, what's up? Chris Cooley. Broke TPS sensor yesterday on my 250 taking off throttle body last night. $300 mistake. Should have bought a car bike. Yes, Chris Cooley. I'm glad that you are admitting that. That is awesome. That's a good argue that if you'd been a little more careful, but that's one thing I don't love. Oh, and so first of all, it's 7:30. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, guys, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are fast, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. I gotta say that it's part of our intro. Anyway, we did the top end on a 300 TPI, and I mean I've done one before, but I didn't film it anyway. And I forgot to film this one, but something I forgot to mention to everybody that it just makes me like creeped out is you're supposed to put a new oil pump in, and so we did, and they come primed, and then you have this little thing that you jump these wires to wake it up, and dude, it is the most nerve-wracking thing ever is to put this tiny little cheap pump on there, brand new shiny top end. You spend all this time and money and shiny cleaning, whatever, and then hit the button and just hope that the little pump does its thing. It is super creepy. But anyway, it worked, so that's awesome. Oh, you're in Slovenia. Right on, man. That's awesome. How is Slovenia? I've never been to the that part of Europe. I've only ever been to France, really, so I bet Slovenia is awesome. So, all right, guys, it's 7:30, and I want to jump into our topic for today, which is this big proposed. Okay, so let me back up. The internet's blowing this thing up as a proposed closure of 330,000 acres by the BLM and the Southern Utah Wilderness Association. And while I really don't like the Southern Utah Wilderness Association at all, I read their stuff anyway. I won't go into that. There's some really badness going on there. Yeah, anyway, those people are not good people. And it's beyond just the, anyway, I'm not like, whatever. What the BLM is doing, though, I want to make this really clear, is a travel management plan for that 330,000 acres. Okay. So the BLM, and especially Utah, has been pro-moto. And I don't think that they are anti-motorcycle or motor sports in Utah at all. In fact, it's, yeah, anyway, like Utah has been the most like welcoming state for during this whole COVID thing for races and stuff like that. So what this is a travel management plan. And the reason they're doing it is because the Southern Utah Wilderness Association won a court case with them to make them have to do a travel management plan. Because before they didn't have a travel management plan, and that's where people just started going everywhere, riding everywhere, whatever. And we could argue about all that stuff, but I just want to talk about what's going on now. So the SUWA does want to get rid of all motorized things, but they are a private entity and they are not the government. So that's whatever. They can't decide that. And what the BLM is doing now is a travel management plan. And right now they're accepting public comments. And so all the links that everybody's been putting up, those are for public comment. And what we need to do as a motorized community is to make it really close, make it really clear that motorized recreation in that part of Utah is really important to us as Americans, as for me, the one I wrote is as a business owner, because I get a lot of, business from people who go to Utah and recreate and come back and, spend money at the shop. So we need to make it really clear how important that motorized recreation is to us. I just want to be super clear that it is not a plan to shut down all of that. As I know what people are doing. They're trying to scare people into doing the work and getting out there and filling out the stuff. And that's good. I think that's awesome. But I just want to be really clear as to what is actually happening, and that you don't need to completely freak out and think that all that stuff is going to be closed next year or something like that. The other thing is it takes a very long time to implement all this stuff. Let me see. I guess Cody Joe, I want to see someone on YouTube convert to a TPI to carb. It would be expensive, but definitely possible. Cody, I would love to do that. If the channel gets big enough, I might do that. Because I have a carb bike. I just need to buy a TPI bike and then basically switch the parts over. and see what it takes to do it. Yeah, anyway, I don't have the money to do that right now, because then I'd end up with one bike that wasn't really usable, or I didn't want to do it. Jimmy Neihart, who funds them? I don't know who the big money is, but if you get into their thing and you're out page, is an agenda. I'm just going to say it. It's an agenda for division and segregation, but even though everybody who says inclusive these days, I think, means segregation, because all they do is list out all these different groups of people separately instead of as humans. And I completely disagree with that. They bring in, I was reading their thing, they bring in the LGBTQ community, they bring in African American. It's all over the Utah wilderness. It's, anyway, it fires me up, because I like to look at people as people. I don't care what color they are or what they do at night. I care what they do in the day to other people they interact with. That's all that matters to me. And if you're a jerk, you're a jerk. And I like to call a spade a spade. And the SUWA are jerks, 100%. Like, yeah, they're sensations, whatever. So off soapbox. But I just do want to say, good morning, Roger Hurd, that as motorized users, we need to definitely go on to those links. And there's a link in this. There's a link in the description of this video that you can go to, and you can go to that, and then you can just fill out your comment and use a unique comment. Don't like copy and paste something else, posted, copy and paste this here. That's really an awesome attempt at things. But my wife, who works for the Forest Service, who deals with these kind of things and used to do travel management stuff, when they're copy and pasted things, that goes into a whole separate consideration thing, and it actually gets way less consideration than unique ones. So write your own comment. Tell the BLM how important that motorized use is to you. Tell them how much it means. Do it in a respectful way, please, because saying bad things about the Southern Utah Wilderness Association, all that, is not going to help. So do it in a respectful way. Do it in as intelligent way as you can, and please do it, because they're not going to close down all those acres to motorized use. That's not going to happen, but they could close a bunch of it down, and that would be no good. Yeah, Jimmy, they are absolutely private, and they have a massive agenda. And I wish I could find the actual money. I mean, that's with everything, right? Follow the money up, and you'll find out who's doing it. But yeah, anyway, Ed Dugan, what's happening, man? See, Raymond Wynn, the Blue Ribbon Coalition, right on. Yeah, I mean, support who you want. I mean, I guess, but if you like motorized use in Utah, the SUWA is not someone to support. The action is opposite the name. Yeah, absolutely. Motorbike channel, absolutely. Wonder why our money we pay actually use the land and enjoy gets trumped by lobbyist money that don't pay anything to the actual states to use it. That is a great question, and one that I think falls very heavily on our politicians who only think about themselves and a very short term. So that's what I think. But so if you guys know people, there's only a few days left. This is really important. Actually, it's really, really important that we get to do this. It says my connection is unstable. I'm sorry. It's not me, I don't think, this time. But hopefully, hopefully you guys are still seeing this. I don't know. There we go. Chris Nelson, Meg's Brap will be arriving Thursday sometime, I think. Sprouting 2024. Yeah, no. Chris Nelson, yes, we should make Ruth should be the one, but she doesn't want that job either. Raymond Wynn has it right. The 26th, we got to get our comments in. Again, the best comments, again, and this is coming from a man who's married to a woman who's read these comments on travel management with the Forest Service. And they, like I said, they do look at them. And the problem is these private entities can like afford to pay hundreds of thousands of people, or not hundreds of that, well, maybe hundreds of thousands. Anyway, they can afford to pay people to write comments. And so they look like the squeaky wheel. But as a user group, we need to write our comments. And like I said, make them unique, make them respectful, and make them compelling. Like I said, I put mine as like, hey man, my livelihood depends on motorized use in the West. So please don't take my livelihood from me, kind of thing. So yeah. And again, they're not going to close all those acres. The Southern Utah Wilderness Association is a private entity that likes to shut everything down, but they actually can't do it. As long as, if we can get out there and say, hey, we like this stuff, it's important to us, it means a lot to us, then we'll get to keep it. I imagine they are probably going to crack down. And I honestly, the amount of use in that part of Utah is kind of crazy nuts. So I don't totally hate the idea of like it a little bit, as are just going everywhere and like pooping in places and leaving like toilet paper. It's like, it is a little bit ridiculous. So, respectful use too is huge as users. So, anyway, make sure you get a comment in there, do all that stuff. Link in the description. Also links all over Facebook and stuff like that. Let's see, Joel Dubois, excuse me. My wife sent me all the written unique comments. Sweet. I like it. I love it, love it, love it. Chris Nelson, I have asked how Moab will survive the BLM Outlaws motorized recreation. Yeah. So Chris, they are not going to outlaw motorized recreation. I know they did that, the side-by-side thing and all that in Moab. The town of Moab will, like that. Yeah. They will fight that. And I don't know why the town people did the side-by-side thing totally, like making that outlawed on the streets, except for the fact that it was becoming a freaking free-for-all. And like I was down there last year, and it was out of hand with people driving side-by-sides that have no business driving side-by-sides or maybe anything. And so, yeah, they got to, whatever. They do need to sort that out, because that little tiny town was just getting crazy. Yeah, and Brady, I agree. Side-by-sides sort of ruin everything. Here in Minnesota, it's okay for the county to come in and tell you what you can and can't drive on privately owned property, and they don't allow hardly any public lands to ride on. That's ridiculous, Rex, and I'm super sorry about that. Oh, good, Joel. There are only 50 comments, and now it's up to 6,000. That's awesome. So yeah, make sure you comment, tell your friends to comment, tell your wife, kids, whatever, comment. It's really important. But also, like I said, they are not in a plan to try to shut things down. It is just a travel management plan to decide how they are going to manage travel in that 330,000 acres. I just want to make sure everybody knows it's a little less sensational than what a lot of media places are putting out, social and otherwise. So, but I also want to say that the SUWA is, in my opinion, an evil organization, and I signed up for their email list because there's no way to like actually contact anyone on their website. Surprise, surprise. So I signed up for their email list. I'm really hoping I get some emails and I can respond, because I'm going to, because they are out of hand. So anyway, all right, enough of that. Let's talk about dirt bikes, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Actually, let's talk about the Wolf Vest real fast. Brady Metter, I really, really, really want to see if one will fit you. I don't have any in my hands yet. I'm still working on that with Wolf to become a dealer. They're not really set up to have dealers because they're really tiny. They're basically just a bunch of friends. So they're not really set up to have a dealer network. Anyway, they're going to get me some, but we haven't got it figured out yet. But the vest is really, really, really good, and it's more comfortable, more breathable. It's bigger, roomier, but also still stays tight on your body. Pockets are bigger. Everything about it is better. But it's also still very, very, very much like the last one. So if you're at all interested, go buy one from their website. It's WLFenduro.com. Also got to meet the guys. That was super cool. Completely random out in the Utah desert, and we had a blast. So, yeah. Let's see. Joel Dubois, I want to come out to Grand Junction, Monterey to ride. Best place for trail info? That'd be me, Joel, or the BLM and Forest Service. But we, yeah, I can get you all the info you need. Joel, just email me. It's morgan@highland-cycles.com, and I will get you everything you need. Raymond Wynn, how's it compared to the OGO vest? It's 100 times better. It's cooler. Even though it's black, it's cooler. It holds stuff better and tighter to you, but as tight as you want. You get super adjustment, and it's tougher. The zippers are tougher. Everything about it is better, in my opinion. So, Chris Nelson, why would tax-paying people from all 50 states drive to Moab and then be told to have to walk on these rocks that you will never erode in 10,000 years? I agree, Chris. It's ridiculous. Let's see, Rick Roman, different gear ratios for each terrains, i.e. woods, hard enduro, MX, and desert. Rick, I don't change gear ratios because I don't want to fiddle with that. But definitely there would be, there's a huge benefit to changing, like for desert and things like that. Like you want taller, and then, but I run, so everybody, if anybody cares, pretty much every bike I have is a 1350 on the sprockets. They all have very different transmissions, but that's what I run. Brady Metter, he's got the Troy Lee vest. He says he loves it. 5 to 6 years old, showing somewhere, so I need to do something soon. The Troy Lee vest is awesome. For me, the Troy Lee vest was super hot. Any experience adjusting air screw on new TPI? Get a pipe bang on low decel. Jimmy, yes. I usually try to richen it up. So that whole air screw, idle screw thing is annoying. They've made the idle screw impossible to get to. That's why you can buy the Slavin screw and get that out. You got to take the throttle body off, and you got to heat the heck out of it and be really careful not to melt the plastic cam, and put that screw in there. That helps, because people are using the air screw to adjust the idle, sort of, by like opening it up, because the idle will go up, you get more air anyway. So yeah, the other thing, Jimmy, that solves that is that head and fuel controller, and that all goes away. But I know that's $800, so it's not the same. But Keith McQueen, everybody's posting, and the link that's in the description of this video. Fill out some comments. Tell them how much motorized use is important to you, and it'll be okay. Brady Metter. So Roger asked for a race report. I think that's an awesome idea too. So, and please keep sending questions. Yeah, Jimmy Neihart did that. So you do need more fuel, 100%. Oh yeah, because you got the head. You need more gas. The fuel, it will work with that. The head without doing the fuel controller, but I'm telling you, the fuel controller makes a massive difference. Getting the right amount of gas to that bike will change the way it works. So, the other thing you can do is, Jimmy, is you could just bump the octane up, like either some octane boost or mix a little bit of race gas in there, and that'll help that detonation. By the way, that's what that is. It's detonation. Whatever you want, really pipe bang. It's actually happening in the cylinder, not when it's supposed to be combusting. So anyway, let's see, Rick Roman, good info. Thanks, man. I got 1352 on the CRF and 1350 on the CR. Seems to be all right. Right on, Rick. Yeah, that sounds good. 52 would be, nice, good low gears for woods and stuff like that, and then a little bit taller for hauling ass. Chris Cooley, no, you do not need a new spark plug. You can run just normal BR70S. You do need to gap the spark down to 20 thousandths, which is smaller than what they call for. See, Michael Webster, have you seen many 650L, XR650L countershaft get worn prematurely due to stock sprockets? No, I haven't seen too much of that. I think I have seen one or two that, started wobbling and got weird, but I've actually never replaced one. Most people just run with it, which seems to work. Kind of seems a little bit scary, but does seem to work. All right, race report. So I drove my happy self down to the Cherry Creek National, the 60th annual Cherry Creek Hare and Hound. Now, technically, 2020 would have been the 60th, because anyway, but they weren't allowed to have the race in 2020 because of COVID. So 2021, they called it it was the 60th, and it just wasn't on the 60th. Had a blast. First of all, there was a dude there racing who raced the first one. How cool is that? They have a pioneer class of guys that are 70 and older, and it's awesome. Mike Barnato, good to see you. So yeah, like super rad. There were over 600 entries from minis to big bikes. That's huge. I don't even know the last time I was at a race with that many entries. Really, really, really good to see. It was Mike Barnato. I don't know if I would have done better on the YZ. Yeah, so I took the 125. I think, if you guys have been watching much of our stuff, you know that I took the 125. The 125 is completely done. It is as good as I can make it. It is so, so good, and massive thank you to everybody who helped. Massive thank you to YouTube and my patrons who this has made it more financially doable. Thank you to TBT, RK Tech, DDC Racing, Decal Works, Highland Cycles, Bulletproof Designs, Enduro Engineering. I already said TBT, but I got to say it again because the suspension was brilliant. Let's see, System Tech Racing, Nitro Moose. Thank you, Jeff Douglas. There would have been so many flats out there. Well, only two, because then I would have been done. But yeah. So anyway, it was the dustest start I've ever done in a Hare and Hound, which is saying something because they're usually really dusty. It was like the siltiest, sandiest, ridiculous start. The 125 did not get the best start. It started and launched well, which was awesome. Thank you, Roger Hurd, for all the advice on that. But then it got gobbled up by 450s real fast. So that'll happen. So the bomb run was brutal, and I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. It was absolutely just crazy. So pin it, whatever, sand, it's crazy, it's fast. I had a good run. Actually started passing guys in the twisty turny sand. It was really awesome. And then we got to like the 23-mile mark, which was just a beat down to get there. And there was e-gas there for those of us who couldn't make the first 56 miles or whatever without gas. There's no way my 125 was going to make 56 miles at that pace. So I pulled in and got gas. It was like 23 miles in, and I swear I almost poured 1.5 gallons in. It was nuts. Maybe it was 1 gallon, but either whatever. It was crazy how much gas that thing took. Second half of the first loop was a little more technical. Still some really fast sections, but a little more rocks and stuff like that. Bike did brilliantly. Had one little tip over, just tipped over and back up, rocking and rolling, and some rocks, just lost the front end on a loose rock. But then came back into the pits, got gas. A giant thanks to Gil from TBT Nevada for pitting me, and it was really cool that he took care of that. That was awesome. Then I charged out and we went up into the mountains. That was the coolest thing. Like, we're in the dusty, silty, whatever. We go up into the mountains, and there's all of a sudden there's moisture in the ground. There's snow we're riding through, little running creeks, rocks. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was amazing. I was so stoked. So I had a great run through there. Was passing 450s on my 125 on the rock, which was super cool. And anyway, finished that loop. There were a couple really, really gnarly rocky things, which is awesome. And then Came back in and ended up 8th out of 18 in the 450A class. I was so happy about that. It was 89th overall. Really happy about that. I think that's my highest finish at a national ever. And that's out of, like, in the big bikes, there's like over 400 entries. So I'm really happy with over 25% or whatever. You know what I mean? Anyway, it went awesome. The bike was brilliant. It was super rad. Rick Roman, you guys are funny. I have to say TBT a lot because it's on all my bike. Yes, absolutely, Garrett. Hello, Dirt. I just rode out in Cherry Creek on the 9th, right after stopping at your shop, and ruined the shifter I bought all day. That's too bad, dude. There's a lot of rocks out there. When you make that KTM 125 the best you can, just go buy a new stock YZ 125X and you will sell that thing. I don't know, Rob. I like that KTM a lot, and being able to help like hit that button is really good for an old guy. So yeah, I was really and Roger, you're totally right. There's nothing better than passing 450s on a 125. The best thing is there's no way they can hear you coming, because the bike is so quiet compared to their freaking loud thing. You go, blah, making all this noise. And you're like, ee, up. And then when you pass them, I think, like, yeah, James, tell me what's happening, man. Good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, so race was really good. Bike worked really well. I think I'm just going to ride I'm going to race the 125 all year. That's just the bike I'm going to race. I know I was faster on the 300 in my test loop. I think I would have been faster on the 300 out at Cherry Creek, but I had so much fun racing the 125. And now the 300 has a chainsaw mount on the front, and it's probably going to live there until the fall. And Brady, 30th overall at a national is crazy fast. Nice work. I don't think I'll ever get there. Cody Joseph, how many hours will I put on the 125 top end? I have a piston and gaskets ready to go. I'm going to do 40 hours. So I'm pretty close. I'm probably at 30. I don't know. I got like 33, 35, something like that. So really, really close. Let's see. Rob McCauley. I ride with a guy that has one, and it's got nothing power-wise. And I'm 53 and don't need no button. Fair enough, Rob. But I got a fake hip. So, and I don't need a button. I can start the bike now, but for a long time, it was actually really, really hard to kickstart motorcycles with as bad as my hip was. So, and my kid's 125 is definitely faster than the KTM, but the KTM is buttery smooth, man. It's really, really good. So, Rob, you need to come out and we'll race and see, which one's faster. Raymond wins. So I have a Raymond says you put a Hornet BB 450s in passing. I have a little battery powered Hornet, and honestly, I was going to put it on there, but I forgot. It's just like, it's a little USB, charge it up and go. Let's see. Roger Hurd. I know Roger Hurd has been in the top 10 at the national. Roger was a very, very fast man on a 125. Let's see. A top 100 race, but number one in our should be not hurt. That's awesome. Yeah, and Brady, Roger is a badass beyond all badasses. Let's see. Rob McCauley, I think you're talking about another thing, Rob McCauley, the 125X, if it's at all like the 250X, it's pitiful in comparison power-wise than the normal YZ. Like, because the normal, I don't know if they did the same thing to dumb down the 125X, but they the 250X in comparison to the YZ 250 is terrible. I've ridden a few of them, and the power. So maybe the 125X they didn't do as much. And the other thing is we have a 125 that Mr. Metter has a suspension for, and we will be I'm putting RK is machining the head for me right now. I'm getting that sent back, and Brady's taking care of the suspension. So that's going to be, and it's already got a kickstand and an 18-inch wheel. So it's basically a 125X, but with head and TBT full reval. So it's going to be awesome. So yeah, and I'm going to ride it. I can't wait to ride it on our test loop and ride it a bunch. The guy who gave it to us for testing said, just ride it like it's yours. So that's going to be awesome. Jimmy Nyhart, what's your thoughts on Sodak when you get in there riding? I will be getting there Thursday night, riding Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and going home on Monday. Yeah, Brady, I know, no worries. It's no hurry. So don't worry about that. SX thoughts. Coop is in the great points position. Ken looks like he is in cruise mode. Yeah, Paul, like that is a great question. I was really stoked to see Ken win the one round, and I thought he was going to win the last round until he threw it away in the whoops by himself. That sucked. I was bummed out. I really do what I think he was going to. I'm almost 100% sure. Rob McCauley, my boy has a 19 YZ250, and I have the X on the top end. They're exactly the same. Just way smoother in the mid-top speed of the X transmission. He can't catch me. Fair enough. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, the 125X does have a 6-speed. The YZ250, why they didn't put a 6-speed in the 250X version blows me away. And Rob, like I said, I rode him. I didn't enjoy the X as much. But I like that freaking nasty snap. So, yes, Kim, we already talked about Utah's land issue. Basically, go and comment. It's not a complete shutdown. It's just a travel management plan, but we do need to make ourselves heard as motorized users. So, Chris Cooley, I bet Kelsey's lead time is 2 months with all the you're showing Architect. It has gotten longer. AJ Reed, what's happening? Kim Jackson, so Todd Colvin. Oh, Todd, I'm so happy to help Brock out. I'm glad we got that done. Roger, can you put the X-Trans in a YZ? Yes, you definitely can. The problem is the 250, no one makes gears that are narrow enough in the shift drum that will run a 6-speed. So, but you can run the wide ratio 5-speed, which would be fine. The thing about I like close ratio transmission, so I like the YZ 250 tranny a lot. But I don't, like I said, I don't even really like the X transmission. I don't like wide ratio transmissions. I have one in my 300, but it is what it is. But that's why I like close ratio, and it's nice to have a 6-speed, right? So you just get a little bit more leg on top. I don't know. It's whatever. Rob McCauley. So yeah, you guys ride. Robbie says, for our riding, that nasty snap is no good. If you see how we ride, it's a lot like watching Romaniacs. So yeah, that's not where I ride. So we don't have any of that. We have desert super rocky stuff, more like King of the Motos and that kind of stuff. But that's not my favorite. I like to go fast. I like the hard stuff. I'll be taking Megs on some hard stuff. Since you guys are YouTube people, make sure you stay tuned. I am getting to ride with Megs the day after the class, and that's going to be awesome. I'm going to take her and show her some super gnarly stuff. But yeah, Rob, I like going fast. I like hauling the mail. Yeah. So Lucas King, yes, we can leave for Sodak tomorrow, although it will be snowy and wet and probably unrideable. But yeah. Where is the weekend moto at? James asked. I don't know. I'm not 100%. I may be riding much this weekend because I'm going to be helping prep the area for Megs' clinic with CJ Inda, who is providing the venue. So I'm not sure. I am going to be riding Saturday morning 100% out at, I don't know. I think I'll go to Dry Creek Saturday morning. That'll be good. So I'll be Dry Creek Saturday morning, and then Sunday probably not gonna get to do. Keith McQueen, I don't have a link. You just got to email me. I don't have them set up in a thing. Rob McCauley, I hear you. Yeah, going fast does hurt. It's just so much fun. I just like it so much. So and I, like I said, I like the harder stuff. I'm trying to get more into it, but like, I like my favorite terrain is the just hard enough that it's hard for most people, but smooth enough that I can ride it and like get some flow. Like 5 miles of hell, honestly, is perfect because it's actually a flowy trail considering it's hard. Brady, I love that you're gonna have 4 strokes. You're gonna have like a dumb little skinny pipe and all that. Kim, I'm talking about here next Thursday. So let's see. So James, yeah, let me know. Like I said, Saturday morning early, definitely gonna ride. It's gonna be awesome. So all right, guys, it's 8:06. That was there you go. I got a buggy. Punk Rock Club. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end. I got a ton of work to do today. I had a guy drop off 6 motorcycles yesterday, and I got to get at least a few of them done for him. So that's going to be nuts. And then Zach's busy, and anyway, it's craziness. I love you guys so much, so much. Thank you for joining me here at this lovely time of the day. I just love spending time with you guys. I hope you guys get out and Adam, we're going to Lower Spring Creek. There we go. So meet at the shop, join us and go out there. But anyway, whatever. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get out and ride. I hope you get out, spread the gospel 2 wheels. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes.